Two major defense companies are in a battle for the future of Canada's fighter jet fleet. Sweden's Saab Gripen versus U.S. firm Lockheed Martin's F-35s. The Swedish defense firm Saab wants Canada to buy and build its fighter jets. The firm is pitching a partnership with Bombardier and promising to create up to 10,000 jobs along with it.
I think Canadians expect more, and we should get more. So that's my first point. And second, when it comes to the Gripen, of course, we're really interested in seeing what can be done.
Breaking tonight. Something happened behind closed doors that could quietly reshape the future of North American defense. This wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic on camera, but it was intense. The United States warned Canada over a fighter jet decision, and Canada did not back down. Stay with me on this, because what you're about to hear is bigger than aircraft. It's about pressure. It's about power. And it's about a country deciding how much control it is willing to hand over when it comes to defending its own skies. For decades, Canada and the US have stood together through NORAD. Same radar systems, same airspace defense, same shared responsibility. The relationship has been solid, almost automatic. When Washington moves, Ottawa usually aligns. That's how it has worked for generations. But this time, something changed. Canada began seriously reviewing Sweden's Gripen fighter jet instead of simply moving ahead fully with the F-35 program. On paper, that sounds normal. Countries review options all the time. But this review triggered concern in Washington. Real concern. Why? Because this isn't just about speed or weapons. It's about who controls the system behind the jet. The F-35 is one of the most advanced fighters ever built. Stealth, sensors, deep digital connectivity, but it operates inside a powerful US-centered ecosystem. Software updates, mission data, integration, much of it flows through American-managed networks. That creates seamless coordination, but it also means reliance. And reliance makes leaders think carefully. Now picture this. Canada controls the second largest airspace on the planet, massive Arctic territory, long frozen runways, remote bases, increasing Russian activity near the north, harsh weather that doesn't forgive technical weaknesses. Aircraft there must be reliable in brutal cold. They must launch fast. They must survive even if infrastructure is damaged. The Gripen was built with survival in mind, designed to operate from highways, designed for quick turnarounds with small crews, designed for flexibility when larger systems fail. So when Canada looked seriously at this option, it wasn't random. It was strategic. It was about long-term independence in extreme conditions. But Washington saw something deeper. If Canada, one of America's closest military partners, chooses a fighter outside the US-controlled structure, it sends a message. It proves that a NATO ally can remain loyal while keeping stronger national control over its own software and upgrades. And that changes influence. Reports suggested US officials raised concerns about interoperability and intelligence sharing, about how changes could impact NORAD operations. These are serious issues. Continental defense is not a game. But beneath those concerns was another layer: precedent. If Canada takes this path, who might follow? Ottawa did not react emotionally. It did not attack the United States publicly. Instead, Canadian leaders made something clear. Air sovereignty remains under Canadian control. That statement was calm, but powerful.
It meant cooperation does not erase decision-making authority. It meant partnership does not mean automatic compliance. At the same time, F-35 costs have increased significantly over recent years, billions more than expected. That matters in Canada. Taxpayers ask questions, lawmakers demand clarity. Meanwhile, Saab offered more than jets, local production, technology transfer, thousands of potential Canadian jobs. Now the choice isn't just military, it's economic, industrial, strategic, and the pressure grows. Choose the F-35 and Canada gains unmatched stealth and perfect integration with US forces, but remains deeply tied to American-managed systems. Choose the Gripen, and Canada strengthens direct control over its own upgrades and mission data, but risks tension with Washington. There is no easy answer, only consequences. Under NORAD, both nations defend North America together. If Canada adjusts its fleet plan, operational structures may need to shift. U.S. officials made that clear. That's serious. That's continental security. But here's the real emotional core of this story. Canada isn't breaking away. It isn't rejecting NATO. It isn't turning anti-American. It is asking a simple but powerful question. How much control should a country keep over the technology that protects its people? Fighter jets today are not just metal and engines. They are flying software systems. Whoever controls the software holds real power. When Canada continued reviewing the Gripen despite warnings, it showed something rare in global politics: quiet confidence. No shouting, no drama, just steady evaluation. And that steady firmness may have surprised Washington more than anything else. Because alliances are built on trust, but also on expectations. And when expectations shift, the balance shifts. Other NATO nations are watching closely, not just to see which jet Canada buys, but to see how much space exists for independence inside a powerful alliance structure. This moment matters beyond Ottawa. It signals that modern partnerships may need to adjust, that sovereignty and cooperation must find a new balance in a world where military systems are digitally connected. Canada's message seems clear. We stand with our allies, but we decide what defends our skies. And that kind of statement, delivered calmly under pressure, carries weight. The final decision has not yet been announced. The contract details are still under review. But something important has already happened. The conversation changed. It's no longer just about Gripen versus F-35. It's about influence versus independence, about integration versus control, about how much a nation is willing to rely on another when national security is on the line. So as this story continues to unfold, ask yourself this. In a world where technology shapes power, how should alliances evolve? Because what Canada decides next will echo far beyond its borders. And that's why you needed to hear this tonight.